Hey Lodi, good evening. Gonna try not to blaze the speakers out here. I have a tendency to be very exuberant at the beginning. Nice to see you all. Welcome back to the View from 202. I'm going to start this week with a slight mea culpa, or a big mea culpa, and apologize for not wearing my mask last week. I should have had it on during our broadcast. And so this week, you're not going to see my face from the eyes down anyway, or either of my guests. We're going to remain masked. So I'm going to do my 2-minute spiel about how critical the numbers are here in Columbia County. I just got the latest report. It's been a week, and Columbia County's cases went up nearly 400. So to put that into perspective, again, we were at about 125 cases until the middle of August, and we are now close to 3,000 in the county, and that's been in 2 months. So if you haven't noticed, it's all over in our valley. It's certainly taken its toll here in City Hall with our staff and then our public works crew, our field operations. So I can't say enough, be careful. These masks are not a political statement. They keep you safe, they keep those around you safe. It is just simple human kindness to wear one of these. So please keep your mask on. We have our signs. Mask up, Lodi. Please mask up, Lodi. On a related note, Thanksgiving. I think I addressed this a little bit last week. We're not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. Not that we ever went very far, like 2 miles out to our family farm, but we are staying home. Now, I can't get away from making large quantities of food. My mother trained me well, so I'm just making a big ass turkey and big ass batch of stuffing and lots of gravy, and I'm going to deliver it to some of the relatives who usually come out to the farm. So at least we'll get to see everybody from the driveway and say hello, and we can call and catch up on Zoom. But we're going to stay put, and I want to encourage you all to do the same. It's a hard tradition to break, and in my family it's been, I think I mentioned last week, almost 100 years that we've been getting together with the Grove, Steppenware, Minky side of the family every Thanksgiving. It is my favorite holiday by far, both with the family and being able to just do nothing but pig out on gravy and stuffing, which are 2 of my favorite foods in the entire world. So it is hard to give these traditions up, and but it is just 1 year. So I'm 59 years old now, which is feeling a little ancient some days. And I realize that this amount of time to me is not as big a deal as it is for our kids. So we're gonna talk a little bit about making the holiday special, even in this strange time. But please, I just ask you, beg you, to not hang out in enclosed places, to not, support our local businesses, get things to go from our restaurants, shop our local establishments. But please don't, on your free time, go hang out with people indoors. Wear these things wherever you go. And I know they're uncomfortable. I know they're not anyone's favorite thing in the world, but it is just the reality. We've got great news on the vaccine front. And today, I think they announced that by the end of December, by the end of this year, there should be close to 40 million vaccines heading out, which means it's 2 doses, but anyway, they're going to be able to start working on vaccinating our frontline healthcare workers, and it'll go from there. So be patient. The end is at least more hopeful spring is in sight. And in Wisconsin, we just hunker down for the winter anyway. So hunker down, and remember, there's always Zoom and FaceTime and Skype and everything else you can possibly think of to stay in touch with one another. Get yourself a nice snuggly blanket that you can wrap around you. If you have a furry family member, that's the best ever. Anyway, I was going to make a remark, but I'll try to behave myself. So please, if we do this now, it'll slow the curves, flatten the curve. Our poor hospital and healthcare workers can get a break. So thank you. And to that note, thank you to everyone who is essential in this day and age. You are all amazing. And you often go unsung. And tonight, we're going to be chatting with one of the unsung heroes, I think, in all of this. And that's those are the folks that provide us with our food. And so my guests tonight are Christy McMorris from the Chamber. Yay! And you've seen Christy with me before. I'm delighted to have you back, Christy. Christy and I get to talk every week and know each other. It's nice to have you here. And also with me is Tegan, and it's Hounahan, I'm sorry, I always messed that up.
That's what
Tegan is the owner of the Main Street Market Piggly Wiggly. Yay! Shop the pig! So I am delighted to have you here, Tegan, and I first want to say, so I lived through Lodi when we went through a period where we had no grocery store, and that was painful, and I think that's part of why we have 4 convenience stores here in town, because we had nowhere else to get the mainstay. So it's been delightful having our Main Street Market. You became owner how long ago?
Yeah, so it's myself, my brother-in-law, and my sister that own it together.
Okay,
And we bought it in 2016 from my parents who had it for almost 20 years.
so it's been almost 4 years now, or 4 years since you
Yeah.
bought it? Wow, seems like yesterday.
It does.
Well, you've done an amazing job, and I watched with great fascination. I think we all kind of watched with horror as everything shut down so abruptly, and then all the shortages started to happen, and we were all trying to figure out how anything was going to work. You were in a very critical spot, and that's being the only grocery store in a 15-mile radius anyway.
Yeah.
Describe what it was like at the beginning. How did that go?
I don't think anybody knew what was going to be happening. I believe it was a Friday afternoon. Bryce and I kind of touched base in the office, just kind of talked about what we were seeing, what we'd seen on the news, and then I had a friend whose family member works with the CDC.
Mm-hmm.
So they had kind of told us what was kind of coming down the pipeline, or what looked like might be coming down the pipeline.
Okay.
But I think that Friday evening and then Saturday morning, we really realized that people were starting to get worried.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Everything was shutting down as we knew it. I don't think we'd ever seen, no one had ever seen anything like this. So we took the stance right away that we didn't want our customers to worry.
Mm-hmm.
So we just tried to start pivoting right away. And that looks like, obviously the toilet paper was gone at one point, but we teamed up with a couple other local places and a driver, and he took his own semi and got toilet paper for us while he could. So just trying to go and get whatever we could from wherever we could. Normally our base is Piggly Wiggly Midwest. They're our supplier.
Okay.
That's who we go through for almost everything. But when it came to being out of items, we knew that we were going to have to get Lodi what they needed.
Sure.
So those first couple of weeks, we didn't know what was going on. And we were talking before this started. I think the pivotal moment for us was when we asked for help. Like we knew after that weekend that there was no way that the current staff that we had could handle the amount of business that we were going to do, and we started asking for help. And it's so great because you always want your town to shop with you, and you want your community to shop with you, and we've tried so hard to be everything to everyone, and to have everyone shopping with us has just been an amazing experience, and I thank you all, everyone that's shopping with us, you guys too. So, gosh, there was just so much, but when we started asking for help, people just started coming out of the woodwork. And other things had gotten shut down, other businesses had gotten shut down. So then the business owners of those businesses were like, how can we help you?
Oh, that's great.
So some people came and helped us for a short time. Some people came and helped us for a couple months.
Wow.
And then some people that came are still on with us.
That's awesome.
And I would say the people that came and are still on with us have become this core group. We've got this core management staff, and your managers are always so important, and it trickles down from them.
Absolutely.
And this attitude was just, let's get it. Like, let's do it, whatever it takes.
Absolutely.
And that was like, Bryce and I have kind of always had that whatever it takes attitude. And it goes with our family at home too. So when our staff started feeling that way, it really brought us all together too. So
that's great.
I do have to say, if any of you guys are watching, Main Street Market staff, we love you and you're doing a phenomenal job. So thank you.
And I will add to that. So there's a particular beverage that I like, AHA water. So I had to get off diet soda. And so when I discovered this, you had a big display right in the front of the store. I think it was around April or May. And I'm like, and I saw that the water, fizzy water, had caffeine in it. I'm like, cha-ching. So I thought, okay, I can get off my, and I did. I quit drinking Diet Mountain Dew, which I had been drinking for, 50 years, or 45 anyway. Got off that, and then all of a sudden it's become rather hard to find. And there have been shortages of it. There have been anyway. So I credit you at your store, that fabulous display of getting me off diet soda, which also lowered my A1C. Yes! Down to 6.3 with my last blood check. So anyway, thank you. So round of applause, standing only. So when I've gone in a few times trying to find it, first it kind of shifted. Well, anyway, so your staff has always been, oh sure, I'll go back in the back and check. And then they may not have that brand, but they'll haul up like 3 other varieties for me and say, well, any of these, they're so kind and so helpful and so cheerful. I agree. So thank you, staff at Main Street Market. And you've made so many changes, like the new deli cases. You're now doing dinners, which was all the talk at my mother-in-law's apartment up on Columbus Street. They were very excited that the bank was offering actual dinners and all that good stuff. So what's been driving all of this innovation? And of course, you haven't been in there. The new freezer sections are so a little bit of a religious experience if you're into that kind of thing. It's really quite lovely and beautifully lit.
Totally.
And it's just opening the whole area up. It's really nice when you spend a fair amount of time at your local grocery store, you notice things like that. So what's been driving, where do you get the ideas and what's been driving all the innovation?
Well, we were lucky enough to be able to go into my parents' business. So I had worked there since I was 12.
Wow.
And Bryce since he was in college, so worked his way through college during summers there with Tanya. And we knew what customers wanted. And just the support from the community is what's allowing for that to happen.
Oh,
so, I mean, and I don't mean to sound over exaggerant or anything like that, but some of the stuff is like, it costs the price of a house.
Oh, I believe
So, when you look at it and your community is allowing you and supporting you in doing those projects, you have to listen to what they want. And sometimes you can't do it right when you want to do it.
Sure.
But we hear a lot and we're on the sales floor a lot and we talk with you all a lot. And honestly, our customers drive everything we do. And when they ask for things, we automatically start looking into it. So, and then some of it was out of necessity. You know, some of it was just time. And there were some things that had, like the freezers, that was a lot of people's, the lights were a problem. But some of it had to come ahead. And so you're looking at the big picture, zooming out and saying, what can we do with what we have until we can do that. So that's what's been driving it. Is I know it's a crazy situation, but our customers are always what drive us to make the decisions that we make.
That's fantastic. And I've noticed more gluten-free options. You're doing more ethnic food options. I've seen. I hate to say this, but I was almost shocked when I could find all these varieties of basmati rice and rice flour and all of these things that I was shopping for that I thought I'll probably have to schlep to Madison to get it, and they've all been there. So do you have like a list and you kind of get to stuff on your list as far as stocking items or?
Yeah, so new items, like I mentioned before, Piggly Wiggly is our main supplier, but of course they can't carry everything either. So we do have a couple of vendors. And some of them come once a week, some of them come every other week. So when somebody requests something, it literally goes out to our vendors right away. I mean, technology is so great. We have all their phone numbers, so we text them right away, or we call the warehouse to try to figure out if it's carried. And so honestly, you guys, if you're asking for something and you haven't seen it yet, we're probably still working on it. And especially right now, there are some items that we're gonna see, pumpkin, for example, canned pumpkin. I think that's everybody's favorite, but it's just been an item that's really hard for us to get right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we're doing our best. We know
Sure.
it's Thanksgiving, we know you want your pumpkin pies, but it's just hard to find.
Okay. Pardon me. Oh, that made me think of something else. Oh, and so I saw on your Facebook page a turkey shortage this year.
Yeah.
But I did also notice that,
Everything else.
yes, I did notice that your freezer was nice and full of turkeys when I was there last night.
Yeah.
Are you noticing turkey shortage as far as what you're able to get in stock?
So I can say that we order turkeys well in advance.
Smart.
It's industry standard, and our meat manager has a really good hold on what he did last year compared to the year before. We always boost it a little bit. What I can say is this is industry wide. Get your turkey, get it now,
Okay.
because if you wait, you're probably not going to get a turkey, because Piggly Wiggly has a really good network where if we're out of something, we can reach out to one of the other franchises and ask. People have already started doing that. Other franchises have already started asking, and nobody has any to spare. So,
Okay.
and I know that's not just Piggly Wiggly, that's all over. So get your turkeys.
And I, when I saw the turkey shortage last time when I was there, I'm like, okay, so let's get everything we need for this stuff and everything else while we're there.
It's crazy. And we sat down like the end of September with our managers and made a list of what we were gonna need for November and December. So as far as spices, I think I did a live on this. Like, you might not have your McCormick spices, but you sure as heck gonna have a spice that you're looking for. So we did our best, maybe not name brand, but to have a spice for you.
And I ran into that, I needed chili powder. And of course, when fall weather hits, you want chili. I don't know, but I'm gonna start going in that nasty mode, and I need to make a big pot of chili. And I went out, and the chili powder, the small McCormick ones were out. And I'm like, no chili powder, which of course they said out loud. And a gentleman was just west of me and said, oh, there are these big jugs, you know, like this big. I'm like, oh, I'll take those. And
Right, we all make enough chili.
That's right. It'll get used up this year, so that's awesome. So this far into it, excuse me, what are your biggest challenges right now?
Anticipation.
Yeah.
Anticipation of what's coming, because nobody really knows.
Yes.
We were watching, and we're worldwide, right?
Yeah.
So we're watching Europe, and we're watching them close one by one. And so we got together in the office again, the managers meeting, toilet paper,
Get those
paper
orders in.
towels,
Yeah.
honestly. And so Piggly Wiggly has been doing such a good job, our Piggly Wiggly Midwest warehouse, of making sure that we have what we need, because I've heard some other competitors are already running out or limiting, and we haven't had to do that yet.
Good.
So fingers crossed that
Excellent.
we're gonna be able to continue to bring that to you guys. Just anticipation of, what is, and that's kind of scary too on our part, is what is this gonna look like in a month? What is this gonna look like in our slow time of year in January and February, where we're already slow? So it's a little scary, but I think if we just plan ahead and we're anticipating what everybody needs, we'll be okay.
And are you guys still doing, can call and place an order and then curbside pickup?
Yeah, so you can call us and place an order,
Okay.
or you can message us right on Facebook, and you literally just leave us a list. And actually, Facebook has been so helpful.
Really?
Because if you ordered 1% milk and we only have 2% milk, we just shoot a picture and send it off and say, sorry, we're out of 1%, but this is what we have. And so you can see the variety you have live.
Okay.
So we offer phone calls, Facebook, and then we also do through Instacart too.
Oh, excellent.
So you have all those varieties, and we are still doing deliveries, still doing pickup, so you don't have to come in, and we're just trying to anticipate what Lodi would need.
That is fantastic. So let's talk about, I was talking about how different the holidays are gonna look. And I know you two have been cooking things up to try to make the holidays more special. So Christy, I'm gonna turn it over to you to talk about what the chamber perhaps can't do this year, but how exciting it's gonna be and how fun it's gonna be in spite of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you saw our communication, we just sent out that, unfortunately, we did have to cancel our annual Christmas lights parade, which is so sad for our community because that is one of the most loved events that we have here in Lodi. But we just felt, you and I talked, and then, of course, my board and I talked, we just felt that with the uptick in COVID numbers and with all that's going on and that anticipation of the uncertainty and everything, it would be best for our community to go ahead and not have it. But good news, we have an alternative. And so I released this just this week to our community. We are going to do a Christmas light scavenger hunt community-wide.
Oh, fun.
So we're gonna do it both in the residential community and the business community.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and if you wanna get in on it, if you decorate your house or if you have something special and fun and you want your house listed on the scavenger hunt form, you can just go to the Chamber Facebook page and send off an email to a lady named Liz, a wonderful lady who's volunteering for the Chamber. And she'll get you recorded. And of course, if you have any questions about it, you can email the Chamber and I'm happy to talk to you about it.
So if I have kids at home, how do we participate in this?
Yeah, great. So what's gonna happen come the first weekend of December is, if you have children in the primary school or the elementary school, send home the scavenger hunt form in their supply pickup packet. I think it's on December 2nd. So you take that form with your family. If you don't have kids, that's okay. We're gonna have that available for you to download it on our website, or you can come pick it up in the store. Yeah, we're gonna. That's how we work.
That's awesome.
You can come pick it up in the store, and so you'll take the form, and it's gonna have a description of a house or a business that's decorated a certain way. And you have to drive around and you find it and write down the street name. For the business, you'll have to write down the business name. And then when you're done with that, you'll turn it in back to the store, and we'll collect them, and we will pull a couple of them out for prize.
Special recognition.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Absolutely. So I also have another treat that I would love to share with the community for the very first time. Can I do it?
Please,
Yeah, okay. Yay. Yeah, wow, I'm getting crazy over here. Because we don't have our parade, guys, I had a little chat with Santa, and he is really, really sad that he won't be at our parade, and he won't be at the firehouse to come and say hi to all of the wonderful kiddos and adults, because I love to see Santa too and let him know what I want for Christmas. So he gave me a box that all the kids can write letters to Santa.
Really?
And we are gonna put this box up at the police department on the outside of it. And you can stop by all month long in December and drop off your letters to Santa, and we're gonna send it off to him.
Excellent.
We're so excited that we get to partner with Santa and doing this.
Oh, how nice of Santa to give us a box
I
to do
know,
that.
it's
That's
so
so
great.
cool.
So it's a red box, and you'll see a picture of it soon on our Facebook page.
Oh, fabulous. So holidays might look different this year, but we can still really enjoy, and I honestly never get a chance or have an excuse, I guess, to drive around town and look at all the holiday decorations and how fun this year.
Absolutely.
Have a good reason to do that.
Yeah, and when you're going up and down the business community, you can pop in. And our whole idea is to shop local for the holidays.
Excellent.
And stay right here, stay in our community. And you know what? The very best gift you can give back to our community is shopping local, right? Is supporting our local businesses, buying your Christmas gifts for them. It may not be the exact thing that you were looking at a big box store, but it's going to be so unique.
Yes.
And it's going to be so wonderful, and it's going to be from our town. I love Lodi so much, and Lake Wisconsin so much.
Absolutely.
So shop local.
God, I couldn't see it, but I will add to that, of course, because I always have that. So I have relatives in, well, just about everywhere, and to send them a gift from Lodi. Now, we have often done the locker market, because we'll send the Susie the duck cheese, and it include Lodi's idle peas and corn, and of course, my favorite, their homemade sausage. And so there are gifts like that, but also my friends that come out from Madison to go to some of our gift shops here in town. We have got some great gift shops. In fact, I can't walk into several of them because I will spend money. And so I've been trying to stay away, although that darn alpaca store and 3 bats in the belfry, I get sucked in there. And I'm constantly amazed at the stuff you can find. So yeah, we're gonna be emphasizing a lot about shopping local, and tonight's show is gonna be too long, but we wanna tease our next show, which is gonna be on December 2nd, so what is that, 3 weeks from tonight or 2 weeks from tonight? 2 weeks from tonight. 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be back here 2 weeks from tonight, and we're gonna talk all about shopping local, and that, we want you to think about shopping local from now until after the holidays, actually, ideally forever. But especially during these holidays, and that first weekend of December is going to be sort of an open house for Lodi. And we really, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some of our businesses are now gonna be open Sundays through the holidays. We want you to think about here first. Don't go on Amazon, don't go on other websites. Just think about your own backyard first. Don't jump online until you've had a chance to go wander through the shops. And they're all careful. Everybody's masked up. They've done an amazing job. Yeah, so we are very, very fortunate. So please think about shopping local, and especially that first weekend in December. We want to see everybody downtown frequenting our businesses all weekend long. So we'll be back on the 2nd of December, and I think we're going to have a few business owners with us, hopefully to promo some wonderful holiday ideas.
Maybe we'll have some fun gift ideas.
Yes,
So
indeed.
it'll be so fun. Good
Yeah.
ideas, some good promos, some good discounts maybe.
Yes, we'll be talking discounts for that first weekend, or just shopping local in general. That would be amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Tegan, about anything folks should know about the pig over the holidays?
We have a ton of good stuff going on. Actually, our holiday open house, which is gonna look a little different this year, but that is always the first weekend in December. So it's gonna fit right with that theme this year.
Beautiful.
I think if I could just, it's not even about the store so much, but about this year, because it does almost feel, again, like there's a loss in our holidays. But what have the holidays always been about? The holidays are about family, right? So we are so blessed and lucky that we can still spend it with our family. And I just think we need to focus on all the positives around us. This year has brought us a lot of challenges, but it has also been an amazing year. So if you just sit back and think about that for a second, and think about shopping local and supporting community, and it all comes back around in a circle.
Yes. Oh, God. That's so beautiful, and that's perfect. And I'll add to that just by saying, for those of us that are feeling particularly blessed at a time like this, remember, Reach Out Lodi. They will not be able to provide their in-person free Thanksgiving dinner that they've done in the past, but you can call Reach Out and reserve a turkey. They do have some turkeys available, so you can reserve a turkey and then go into the community store up there and make an appointment to do so and get what you need for your turkey dinner. They are still having their fundraiser with Chef Grayson, so you can purchase a turkey dinner.
That was so good.
Oh my goodness, yeah, if you haven't, the cannelloni this last weekend was a small religious experience. It was really quite a phenomenal meal. So you can participate that way. I'm sure most of our restaurants, many of them will have also Thanksgiving carryout. So if you want to use this as a good reason to not have to cook a big dinner, rock and roll. But remember that we do have folks in the community who are struggling, and if you can, do you guys still do the prepackaged bags that you can always, and I know you're doing roundup, so I have to get a huge shout out to the Piggly Wiggly. Every time I go in there, it's a roundup for something, and it's so easy to do, and who wants change right now, so it's not a big deal. But I know you've done it for the charter school, you've done it for Reach Out, you've done it for the resale shop. I mean, the list goes on and on. So if you're in the pig and your fabulous cashier does not remember to ask you, say, I would like to round up for whatever the cause may be on that particular day, it makes it, that adds up quite a bit, right?
It does, and it is specifically for Reach Out Lodi this time of year. So,
excellent.
we definitely want to make sure everyone feels blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have, so I know up toward the shopping, toward the front, there are those bags that you guys prepackage that you could purchase. You purchase those, tagging calls, Reach Out, they come pick them up, they get used, and people are very grateful. So, yes, sir.
You can also donate directly to Reach Out Lodi by dropping off a check at Wisconsin River Bank.
Oh,
Very
thank you, Blaze. Very important, yes, so you can mail them a check, you can stop by Wisconsin River Bank and drop off a check. Lots of ways to, and of course, Reach Out posts their list every week of things that they need to keep the store open and stocked. And don't forget, there is a food distribution this Friday over at the elementary school. We always say it starts at 10:30, but we usually start around 10 o'clock. So if you know of anyone in need, if you've got a neighbor that's in need and can't be there during the day, just see if you can find somebody who could come. The food distribution is no questions asked. You don't have to fill out paperwork. We just come up to your window, ask you how many people, put a little post-it on your windshield. We take 3 cars come up at a time. We do load up all the stuff and you're in and out of there. Once we start, it goes pretty quickly. But we want to make sure everyone has enough food to eat. And if there's ever been a time, and I think I've said this with every show, that I have felt incredibly rich and incredibly grateful, this has just brought into stark relief what an amazing community this is. And the outpouring of support for Reach Out and for other initiatives and people who show up to volunteer regularly and with absolutely no thought of their own. I also want to give a shout out to our election workers. On November 3rd, they worked their fannies off, and there's a whole host of people that I just finished writing thank you notes to that I just cannot explain what an amazing feeling it is to know how careful and with such great integrity that our local folks volunteer their time. Some of them are paid a very modest amount of money to be there all day. And it was busy. We had, I think, over 90% turnout in the city of Lodi to vote in this presidential election, which is pretty amazing. So a huge shout out to our election workers and a huge shout out to Brenda Ayers and Lynette Mayberry, our city clerk and deputy clerk respectively. They're just an incredible bunch. And it's really, with all the accusations flying around, I can assure you that the people who work local elections everywhere take their jobs very, very seriously. They're a critical part of our democracy, and they take their responsibilities to heart. So, okay, that was a little segue. So anyway, we're gonna run away now and let you all go. I'm not gonna talk to you for an hour tonight, but I wanna thank Tanya so much for everything you do, and for the great job you've done for keeping everyone safe and well-fed, and for really having an ear toward how we can make our community better and always having those wonderful opportunities to get back in the big. Fantastic. Christy, I know how hard you're working, and you're both moms, so we see the stable and then underneath the duck feed are going really, really fast. To all of our working parents out there who are also helping with their kids' homework at home, I salute you. I'm old and I can't even fathom how you have the energy to do this, but no, the vaccine is looming on the horizon. We just have a few more months to cling together and get through this. So one more time, mask up, Lodi. Don't forget, stay home for Thanksgiving, and we will see you in 2 weeks on December 2nd. Take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.